access.
Come on.
Come on.
Well, listen. I noticed that the woman remaining silent is Judy Ho, the clinical psychologist, because I think she's analyzing all of you on the panel. But Judy Ho, before we get to our exclusive, primetime exclusive guest, why is it that the couples who always look so perfect on the outside, and this couple, really, they are the stereotypical pillars of the community in this genteel Charleston, South Carolina social set, the victim, the would-be victim, thank God nothing happened to her, but the wife, she's still totally shocked over her estranged husband's alleged plan to kill her. First, we're going to listen to this from the Post and Courier.com, and then I want to hear from you, your analysis.
It was difficult to see him walk in shackles because, again, going through this situation, it's almost surreal. Like, you can tell yourself that even though you suspect he's involved, well, he hasn't been arrested, so maybe he hasn't. You know, you can almost compartmentalize those feelings. But to know that he is arrested, the U.S. Attorney's Office must have what they need to warrant an arrest.
Look at this so-called perfect family. Dr. Judy, how can they look so perfect on the outside and have all this stuff going on behind closed doors?
Well, Jane, these types of high-powered couples, they're very centered on self-presentation, their presentation to the world. And in fact, that's probably one of the motives for why he would hatch a plot like this, because he's trying to protect his wealth, his reputation, who he is in the community, who he is at work. And oftentimes these couples, you know, they have to present themselves to the public as like everything is great, but then when they go home, that's where everything is falling apart. And so I'm sure that the wife right now is in disbelief.
Well, let me say this. I don't want to mix the two of them up. I mean, she's the victim, and he is the alleged conspirator who was ringleading this plot. And we have a very special primetime exclusive guest with us tonight, O'Neill Cannon. I want to bring in Dr. Judy Ho. Here's a man who has to be smart. This guy. He was a banking executive making $750,000 a year. You can't be completely moronic. But yet he involves all these people, allegedly, and he puts together a hit that is probably the best evidence against him, according to prosecutors. Why?
Jane, I think this is a case where his profession and his whole experience is working against him, because for him to be as successful as he is, he probably has spent tons of time learning strategies, bringing in teamwork, having people work under him. And so he's taking all this experience to hatch this murder plot, but is taking the same exact care, making sure everything is thought out, involving all these people on his team, and now it's going to be his downfall. I mean, this is how we're going to find out that he was behind everything, and we're going to start from day one where he started planning this from the beginning.
I agree with you. This is not a home equity loan, and you're getting some kind of mortgage consultant involved Unbelievable. Creepy Uncle Jim. It seems Hannah told a few friends about it, but never told her parents. Straight out to the lion's den, and we're going to start with Judy Ho, clinical psychologist. Isn't it classic that if an older man who's a family friend does something inappropriate, it's really not normal for the kids to immediately run and tell their parents? They try to protect the parents from that information, unfortunately.
Absolutely, Jane. This is a guy who has had a long history of trust and relationship with the entire family. She probably thought, well, even if I told my mom some complaint about Uncle Jim, that they wouldn't believe me. You know, this is the person that we grew up with. This is the person that they love. You know, who knows? The parents might even chastise her for making up a rumor. And so I think sometimes kids are afraid of the repercussions of actually coming clean with some of this stuff. And that's why I think parents have to really educate their children early that if anything comes up, that they have to go to them immediately, or there has to be somebody else they can go to, a teacher, a professional, a counselor, somebody else that they can talk to about this who can help talk to the parents.
Yeah,